Welcome to Rise Untold, where the stories behind the spotlight come alive. He once stood tall as Hollywood's indestructible hero, a man of iron in films. But now, quietly, Bruce Willis fights a battle no camera can capture. This is not the story of an action star. This is the story of a man facing the most human battle of all, silently, bravely, and with the love of a family that refuses to let him walk alone. This is Bruce Willis's Untold Rise. In March 2022, the world paused when Bruce Willis's family released a statement. The actor was stepping away from acting. At first, the diagnosis was aphasia, a disorder that affects how we speak and understand language. But the silence went deeper. By February 2023, it was confirmed. Bruce Willis had frontotemporal dementia, FTD, a rare, cruel condition that slowly chips away at personality, behavior, and language. There is no cure, and the world watched helpless. He had once been the man who saved hostages in Nakatomi Plaza, who fought meteors, terrorists, time, and fate. But this fight, this one was different. Before the stardom, before the fame, before the world knew his name, he was just Bruce, a boy born in 1955 in Oberstein, West Germany, raised in New Jersey, a kid with a stutter who turned to acting because it helped him find his voice. He wasn't polished. He wasn't Hollywood royalty. He was real. He worked odd jobs, bartending, security, struggling. Then came moonlighting, the spark, the role that made casting agents and studios take notice, a blue-collar charm that broke through the screen. It was effortless and unforgettable. And then came Die Hard. John McClane wasn't a superhero. He was tired. He bled. He made mistakes. And that's exactly why the world loved him. Because in Bruce, we saw ourselves. Movie after movie, Bruce Willis gave us characters that weren't perfect, but real. In The Sixth Sense, he was an action hero. He was a quiet psychologist with pain in his eyes. In Unbreakable, he played a man struggling to believe in his own strength. In Armageddon, he was a father willing to die for his daughter. And through it all, there was something raw in his silence, a depth in his stillness, a storm beneath the calm. Maybe he was always trying to tell us something. Even back then, when the diagnosis came, the world mourned. But his family, they chose to love louder. His wife, Emma Hemming. His ex-wife, Demi Moore. His 5 daughters, Rumor, Scout, Tallulah, Mabel, Evelyn. Together, they stood still. They stood strong. They showed the world that when memory fades, love doesn't. They posted moments. Bruce smiling with his children, laughing in a quiet room, dancing, even if just a little. They didn't hide the pain, but they didn't let it define him either. Because Bruce Willis is more than a diagnosis. He is legacy. Across more than 100 films, his career grossed billions. His estimated net worth stands at over $250 million. But those numbers, they don't tell you who he is or what he gave. He gave us belief that heroes could be tired, that strength wasn't loud, that pain could live beneath the surface and still be powerful. He never chased awards, but the world awarded him with love, a people's champion, a box office giant, a timeless icon. And now, as he slips away from the world he once commanded, his story speaks even louder. He showed up for us when we needed escape, when we needed hope, when we needed to believe in someone flawed, but fearless. Now, it's our turn to show up for him, with honor, with respect, with memory. Because even if Bruce forgets the lines he once delivered, we remember them. Even if he can no longer speak those iconic words, we still hear them. Even if he fades into silence, his voice lives on in us. This isn't just about illness or loss. It's about legacy. It's about love. It's about reminding the world that no disease, no diagnosis can erase a man's rise. So if Bruce Willis, the man who fought villains' fate and fear, can face this with grace, then maybe you can survive your battles too. Because maybe the strongest thing you can do is keep going, even when the world goes quiet, even when your voice fades, when your memories begin to slip through your fingers like grains of sand. when the applause has stopped and the cameras have been put away. That's when true strength is tested, not in front of a crowd, but in the silence, in the stillness of a room where you can't remember what day it is, where names feel distant, where your own story begins to feel like someone else's, but still you wake up, you smile, you hold hands, you listen to the voices of the people who love you, even if the words don't always land, even if the meaning gets lost, even if the world slowly becomes a blur. That is courage. That is the kind of bravery no movie has ever captured. Not fully, because how do you script a man battling the fading of himself? You don't. You honor it. You stand beside it. You recognize that just waking up, just being present, just holding on to whatever light remains, is a form of rising most people will never understand. And Bruce Willis, the man who brought down helicopters with a pistol, who walked barefoot on broken glass to save lives, who made us believe that one man could take on the world, is now taking on a battle with no explosions, no sound effects, no dramatic music, just silence. And yet, in that silence, something beautiful remains, something unbreakable. This is not just where Bruce Willis is now. This is a part of the story that teaches us the most. Because the truth is, every role he ever played, every line he ever delivered, was preparing us for this. Not because he knew it would happen, but because the themes were always there. Loss, endurance, sacrifice, love. In The Sixth Sense, he played a man already gone, a soul lingering, trying to do right before saying goodbye. In Armageddon, he sacrificed everything for the people he loved. In Unbreakable, he spent a lifetime discovering his hidden strength. And now, in real life, he's showing us what it looks like when the spotlight fades, when the script ends, when it's no longer about performance, but presence. That's the final role Bruce Willis is playing. And he's doing it with more grace than any Oscar could ever measure. Because legacy is not about perfection. It's not about remembering every word. It's not even about being remembered by everyone. It's about being loved by the ones who matter. And Bruce is deeply loved. By his daughters, by his wife, by Demi, by his friends, by his fans, by every person who ever sat in a theater, popcorn in hand, and whispered, "This guy, he's different." And he was. Bruce Willis wasn't just a leading man. He was a kind of actor who felt like us. Flawed, frustrated, funny, vulnerable. He got knocked down in every film, and every time he got back up, bloody, bruised, but standing. And now, as he faces something far more painful than any villain ever written, he's still standing. Maybe not in the way we once saw him, but in a way that matters even more. Because rising isn't about being seen. It's about surviving. And that's what Bruce is doing. Quietly, with dignity, with the love of his family wrapped around him like armor. This is a rise of someone who gave his all to every frame, every scene, every moment. He didn't just give us movies. He gave us memories. He gave us himself. And now, as the world watches from a distance, respectfully, tenderly, we realize something powerful. That maybe Bruce Willis's greatest performance is the one he's giving us now. No dialogue, no special effects, no hero's entrance. Just a man, fighting to exist. And still, he rises, not on the big screen, but in the hearts of those who will never forget what he meant. To action, to cinema, to us. Because in the end, the strongest thing you can do is not hold a gun, not blow up a building, not save the world. It's to wake up, look your illness in the eye, and keep going anyway. Even when the world goes quiet, even when you feel like you're fading, even when no one is watching. That's real courage. That's real strength. And that is Bruce Willis. This is not just the end of a career. This is the rise of a man. Still here, still loved, still rising. This is Rise Untold.